At first I thought this was fake news, but indeed it is real. Let's talk about the new proposed Trump dollar and whether or not this can legally be struck by the United States Mint as we explore. That's right, the comb over and everything. It's actually not a bad profile. According to this line art rendering, an official U.S. Treasury rendering, that's right. This is one of the proposed designs for the new Trump dollar. This came out of left field. I first found out about it on my live stream, and a member of the community let me know about it. I thought there's no way this is happening, but indeed, it looks like this is the case. Proof positive by this post. Yes, indeed. This is a post by U.S. Treasurer Brendan Beach, who heads up the United States Mint. And no fake news here. These first drafts honoring America's 250th birthday and POTUS are real. Now, a little bit, these designs obviously are kind of interesting. We'll talk about the designs here in a moment. Let's cover some of what this is about. I'm first going to be referencing Politico here about what this is. The Treasury Department considers minting a $1 Trump coin. The Treasury Department is considering producing a $1 coin featuring President Donald Trump to commemorate the 250th anniversary of U.S. independence next year, according to a spokesperson that has confirmed this on Friday. That's yesterday as of the recording of this video. The draft design of the coin, which was overseen by the Office of the U.S. Treasurer Brendan Beach, features Trump's profile on one side of the coin. The opposite side depicts Trump with the clenched fist in front of an American flag alongside the words "Fight, fight, fight." Now, it's not a reproduction of the famous photograph, but but it's in representation of what that moment was about. Despite the radical left's forced shutdown of our government, the facts are clear. Under the historic leadership of President Donald J. Trump, our nation is entering its 250th anniversary stronger, more prosperous, and better than ever before, a Treasury Department spokesperson said in a statement. While a final $1 coin design has not yet been selected to commemorate the United States semi-quincentennial, the first draft reflects well the enduring spirit of our country and democracy, even in the face of immense obstacles. Now, this is kind of where the legal authority they think comes from. I don't know if it's really true or not. We're going to cover that in another piece here. But Congress in 2020 passed bipartisan legislation signed by Trump during his first term that authorizes the Treasury Secretary to issue $1 coins during the 2026 calendar year. The design of those coins must be emblematic of the United States semi-quincentennial. Well, they get by that barely with a double date, but that's about it. Beach, who supervises the United States Mint, said on a post on X Friday that the administration would share more soon once the obstruction and shutdown of the United States government is over. So this may not be the final design. Living people are rarely featured on U.S. money. Congress has imposed various restrictions on the ability of the Treasury to feature living people and living presidents on currency. It's not clear whether the latest Trump coin envisioned by the Treasury Department would run afoul of those laws. White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told reporters she wasn't sure whether Trump was aware of the effort to put his likeness on a coin. I'm not sure if he's seen it, but I'm sure he'll love it. My guess is probably he is. Now, let's look at another piece, which is a little bit more critical from Reuters. No surprise there. But I think some of the criticism might be warranted. We have the U.S. Treasury to release a draft design of the coin with Donald Trump. But then, what about the legality of the issue? Well, while a final $1 design has not yet been selected to commemorate the United States semi-quincentennial, the first draft reflects well the enduring spirit of our country and democracy, even in the face of immense obstacles, according to Treasury spokesman. And but Congress passed the law that allows the Secretary of the Treasury to mint $1 coins in 2026 with designs emblematic of the U.S. semi-quincentennial. A debate quickly erupted on social media about the proposed coin, given the law specifically says no head and shoulder portrait of a bust of any person living or dead, and no portrait of a living person may be included in the design of the reverse of any coin created to mark the U.S. anniversary. The proposed design features a wider illustration of Trump on the reverse side, a move that legal experts said would fall outside of the ban on head and shoulders portrait or bust. So, an 1866 law mandates that no living person's portrait can be used on U.S. currency, but that refers to paper money produced by the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. Coins are minted by the United States Mint. So that's how they get out of that loophole, apparently. But I don't know. I think that I had to look at the actual 1866 law, but my guess is it's related to any money, including coins. And one provision of the earlier law on coinage, first passed in 1792 and amended repeatedly by Congress, prohibits depiction of a living current or former president, but that passage applies to dollar coins minted specifically to honor each of the U.S. presidents and not issued for other reasons, such as the country's 250th anniversary. To mark the 1976 bicentennial celebrations, the Treasury sponsored a national competition and picked the dollar coin, a design by a sculpture student featuring the Liberty Bell, a symbol of American independence, and the moon. And then we had the other side showing former President Dwight D. Eisenhower, who died in 1969 and became the first president to be featured on a $1 coin in 1971. Asked whether Trump had seen the draft coin design, Caroline Levitt says, I'm not sure if he's seen it, as we talked about before. So my guess is that probably Congress would have to make a special provision for this, or create a separate law that would allow this thing to be minted. But this is the post here that has been referred, and let's take a look at the design. This kind of reminds me of the Kennedy half dollar in such a way, as you can see there. It's a very close likeness of the Kennedy half dollar, but this is indeed President Trump on this obverse side. Now, obviously, this would go fly in the face of that 1866 law. I don't think there's any legal authority for them to do this, because they had to create provisions for other living people to be on coins, such as the Eunice Shriver Special Olympics coin in 1995. However, this is not unprecedented. We have seen this happen in the past, and I don't know the legal loopholes that were created to make this coin happen, but the last time we had an anniversary of the formation of this country, the sesquicentennial, in 1776 to 1926, the 150th anniversary, we can see here is George Washington along with the president at the time, Calvin Coolidge. That's right, this happened back in 1926. A coin, this was a commemorative coin that was created specifically for this anniversary, and we can see a living president on the coin itself. And so there is precedent for this, although obviously this, by the way, is the foundation of what would later become the Franklin half dollar, the same version and variation of the Liberty Bell here. So that's what's going on here. The reverse of this coin, it does not have the bust apparently, but it does show President Trump. And if he doesn't know about this, part of me would be kind of surprised. But to me, this does not celebrate the anniversary of the country. It celebrates an important, or it commemorates an important part of American history, no question, but it does not commemorate the anniversary of the United States of America, the 250th. So I hope these designs are not chosen for that effect, although I think a medal would be appropriate for something like this, but not a coin. And medals obviously can depict living individuals. We see that time and time again, but I don't think this should be a coin. But nonetheless, the design itself is really good on this. And I think that this looks too much like the Kennedy half dollar for my liking, but it's a good portrait of President Trump. I don't know how that would translate onto a die, but we'll see how that plays out. But very interesting. how this is working out here. So I don't know. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think it will happen? My guess is I don't think it will happen unless they can get a law passed, which is quite possible. Unless they're interpreting that law, they're giving the treasurer, the secretary of the treasury, that leeway to be able to pick designs. I think is limited based off of the law. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section down below. Hope you found this video informative, insightful, and educational. I'd like to extend a multitude of gratitude to each and every one of you for taking the time to watch, and encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.